Welcome to action from Rotax Max Challenge Africa Open at the Brunton Kart Circuit in Gauteng in South Africa. And up next, we're going into the Junior Max category, one of the most highly competitive classes in this country and around the world as well. And all of these guys are fighting for a seat to go and fight out at the World Finals later on, with Akil Alibi setting the pace in qualifying, beating out Leighton Fourie and Ethan Coetzee. Tate Bishop and Jordan Brooks making up the top five.
I just want to try pull away from the back, try get a big gap from second and third, because that will really help me, because then I'll have a gap, and then they won't be able to pass me in that, and then I'll be able to start first for the final and hopefully get the ticket.
Well, the tracks overseas and the tracks here are very different. The grip levels are much different, so the setup needs to change, your driving style needs to change, and the experience racing-wise is still mostly the same. Our boys here race aggressive like they're overseas, so I've won this African Open before, once in my life, so I'll try, but there's 2 pre-finals before the finals, so pre-finals you just got to chill, get a front row start, and then it all comes down to the final.
Well, I'm pretty happy seeing I only qualified 7/1000ths of second, so I say third's pretty good, so I'll just try and make it up in the race.
What's your strategy going to be?
Just that I don't do anything stupid in the first and second race, and the final's the main race, and that's the one that counts.
Well, we've been looking very promising this weekend, definitely up for the battle, but yeah, it's going to be a tough fight with Akil, Leighton and Ethan Coetzee. They're all home tracks. It's their home track here, so I mean, mine's Cape Town. It's going to be hard, but you know, I've got to fight from the second row. I've got to fight from fourth. But yeah, I'm really hoping that we can actually get somewhere and maybe win the final.
Talk to me about qualifying. How did it go?
Not the way I expected it to go. I was overthinking and I didn't hit my marks properly.
What's your strategy tomorrow? You've got 2 heats. Those 2 heats determine the finals grid. What do you do for those 2 heats? How do you work yourself up to the front?
I'm just going to focus, hit my marks properly and just push.
It was a good one. I liked, but it was a few laps. I couldn't do better, but for me it's good.
The circuit here, do you like the circuit?
Yeah, it's a bit complicated, but I like it.
So tomorrow, what is your strategy in the race? How are you going to handle things?
I just need to keep focused and race well without any accident.
Not always the easiest thing to do when you go to such a competitive category, but let's see what happens now as they head into the tram lines, and Akil Alibi lays them down into turn number 1. Ethan Coetzee right on his tail, Leighton Fourie doing around the outside. They go 2 by 2 and eventually slot into the train, but it was only just that they got in there. And already a dive on the inside from Coetzee. He's moved himself up into second place and starts to put the pressure on right from the word go. Akil Alibi, though, trying to hang on and disappear at the front end. Jordan Brooks just up there, but losing ground again as Fourie dives on his inside, forces the Brill man a little bit wide, and that cosmic cart forces him into a maneuver that he does not want to make. Tate Bishop's going to go with him. Bishop gets through as well, and that angry cart has just got ahead. Oh, only just, with a little bit of tapping there coming out of Jordan Brooks in the barrel. That's not what you want. Back in the background there, watch out as well as Bongani, Rocha and Mngandi take on Lax and Leo. So you've literally got a battle of the South Africans, the Mozambicans, and you've also got a Zambian thrown into the mix. Now coming across the line, Jordan Brooks has lost out lots of ground due to that little bit of a braking maneuver he tried there. Lap 4 of 12, and Akil Alibi opening up a decent margin. Coetzee hangs on for second, Fourie is third. And Fourie is applying the pressure onto the back end of Ethan Coetzee. Lax and Leo taking out Malamani into the tyres. Oh, that's huge. The Mozambicans holding nothing back in the background and takes out one of his fellow South Africans. That's not how you want to be playing the game. But anyway, it is racing, and sometimes that's how rough it gets, particularly in Junior Max. Across the line, another lap completed. Leighton Fourie trying to close down there on Ethan Coetzee. The 2 Cosmic boys should be trying to work together to close down on the RKT man out front. But you can see just how well Akil Alibi has adapted to this track, putting in lap times that are slowly but surely becoming some of the quickest lap times we're going to see all day. Getting down into the 48s. Great driving from the man out front, and it's doing it everything he needs to keep these other 3 at bay. Yellow flags through there. That's due to Malamani on the sideline. There you can see him parked there and being assisted not only by the medics but also by our marshals. And as they come through the triple left-hand, and now it's all green flags. Can Kutsia keep out Fari? Fari is pushing hard, but Ethan Kutsia is soaking it up with no worries at all at this stage. Coming across now into 11 of 12. And Akil Levi has maintained about a second gap over this three in the second, third, and fourth place battle. And you can see all of a sudden Tate Bishop has closed in dramatically. Bishop is a lot closer on those two Cosmics than what he has been in the past. And now looking for a chance to pounce on one of them. The first one is free, then he's got to find a way through on Kutsia. But I'm not quite sure if they're going to give up that ground as easily as that. Tate Bishop all over the back of Leighton Free. Leighton Free all over the back of Kutsia. The in-house fight is just stopping them from bridging that 3 or 4 cart lengths now lead as we start the final lap. Great drive here from Akil Levi, keeping it all together. He's going to take those 35 points in this pre-final. Remember that the fastest lap of this race will dictate who is going to have the pole position for race number 2. And it looks like they're all trying to push hard, but at this stage, Tate Bishop has got the fastest. So Bishop, even though he's down in 4th place, might still be able to start the next race in the front row and on the front row at the lead of the race, which will give him a slight advantage, the same kind of advantage as what Akil has used in this race to stay out front. Then remember, it's all about points. The points scored in race number 1 and race number 2 will dictate how they line up for the final. And right now, that's exactly how hard these 4 are pushing. They're coming to the closing stages. One more corner to go. Akil Levi coming to take the first victory of the day and 35 points in the bag. Ethan Kutsia is going to come through for second. It's Fari and Bishop, your top 4 as they cross the line. Great drive from Akil Levi, taking the first victory. And that's just a little bit of confidence builder there for him. Beating out Kutsia, Fari, Bishop and Brooks. And then it was Kian Finelli, Bungani, Rocha, Ngandi, Leo and Malamani did not finish, unfortunately, with some problems. Straight into race 2 now. And it is Tate Bishop, as I said, that starts on the front row. Alongside him, Leighton Free. Where is Lex and Leo going? Lex and Leo came out of the tram lines way before the lights were out. I don't know if that was such a good start there from him. It's worked for him. He's made up about 4 or 5 positions, but he drops in behind the usual contenders here from South Africa and tries to put the pressure onto them. Ethan Kutsia with pressure from Fari, but Tate Bishop has hole-shotted. Brooks putting the pressure onto the back end of Akil Levi. Behind that, a nice recovery there coming out of Bungani. And Ndamisa Bungani all over the back of Brooks in the barrel. Can he find a way past? That'll be interesting to see. They come flying through and into the double right-hander for the first time. Kutsia under pressure big time from Fari and Akil Levi. Brooks with them. Bungani bringing Lax and Leo, and behind that you got Kian Finelli and Malamani. Nice start here from Tate Bishop, looking to try and stay ahead of this pack of carts. Not going to be an easy thing to do, that's for sure. Akil Levi was able to do it in the first race, so if he gets a decent enough margin, he might just be able to control it from the front. We'll wait and see. Lots of debris on the track now as a couple of carts have gone off. And you can see they've just pulled a little bit of debris on there. Won't be too much of an issue because remember these Mojo tyres come into their own, not this lap or the next one, but possibly the one after that. About 3 laps in is where we start to see. Change up for second though as Fari's got through. Fari gets into second place. Kutsia now with massive pressure coming from, race 1 winner looking for a chance there. Akil Levi had a big look. Didn't make it stick though. They're also going to be very careful they don't go and tap those nose cones because remember you've got nose cone infringements which will cost you 5 seconds at the end of the day. So a third of the race completed. And going down into turn 2, Akil Levi has got through. Kutsia comes back at him though. I was about to say, and Brooks does as well. Commentators cursed there, Akil, apologies for that. Down to 5th. He was up to 3rd place, but Kutsia and Brooks made him pay for a small opening of the door. Now Akil's got to come back. Remember, it's all about points. He's already scored 35, so he's got to be at least in the top 3 to stay on the front row. Let's see if he's able to do that, because the top 2 up front there have already had seconds and thirds as well. Now across the line, another lap completed for Tate Bishop. 9 of 12. And this is where it starts to get real. As Fari starts to apply massive pressure onto the back end there of Tate Bishop. Fari wants this victory. The Cosmic Man is pushing hard and looking for a way past on that angry cart ahead of him. He dives on the inside. Perfectly done. Great line there from Leighton Fari. Gets up the inside. Late on the brakes. Late as in Leighton on the brakes there. Going into turn 2. And done to perfection to get through to the lead. Is there enough time now for Tate Bishop to try and come back at him? Or is Fari going to put his head down and try and get away? That cart seems really well set up as he heads onto the short straight towards Talcan. And it's Kutsia who's closing in. Akil Levi seems to have lost out there. Looks like that is going to give him the pole for the final. Leighton Fari taking the victory. If he keeps it here, he'll have pole position for the final, and that's exactly where he wants to be. Tate Bishop now moving up into second place. Possibly also going to be on the front row with Akil Levi so far back. Kutsia there into 3rd place. Looking for a chance now to maybe find a way through on Tate Bishop and spoil his front row start. So we got Cosmic, Angry Cosmic as they go down into turn 2. RKT sitting there in 4th place with Jordan Brooks in the barrel in 5th, but unable to do anything about these first 3. And on the final lap, it doesn't look like anything's going to change here. They're probably going to maintain exactly as they are. You don't want to make any mistakes now. That will be vital. This one doesn't count, remember. Only the next race counts. In the Africa Open, the final race of the day is the only one that counts. So all you want to do right now is ensure you get as many points as possible. If you make a mistake now, it'll be crucial. And now onto that little short straight towards Tolkien. Looks like they are going to stay line astern for the finish. Leighton Fourie going to hang on. Bishop is going to get 2nd, and Kutsia is going to take 3rd. Akil Levi, race 1 winner, down in 4th place, but he did make a small mistake halfway through the race, and it was a costly one. So they go across the line, as we said, with Leighton Fourie taking the 2nd victory. He's stoked about that, and comes through to beat out Tate Bishop, Ethan Kutsia, and Akil Levi. Jordan Brooks was down in 5th place, beating out Ndumiso Ngwani. And then you've got Laxon Leo from Mozambique up in 7th. One of his best drives we've seen, beating out Kian Finelli.
The final is quite long. It's 18 laps, so we've set up the car for the end races. So hopefully it's just patience and plays out in the beginning, so the end is really strong. Yeah, we're going for gold here. So.
Everybody seems to be quite fast at the front, and there's a bit of argy-bargy. What do you do to stay out of trouble?
Yeah, in the first 2 races, the front 2, all 3 of us have kind of got away, but behind us is always chaos, so you got to watch your rear end that you don't get tipped from the guys that are trying to pass people behind. So yeah, it's we're very close in the front, so you have to wait for them to make a mistake and not make mistakes and try and pass them.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. Everybody's going to be in the front. Everybody's going to be pushing. I just need to stay calm and try pull away.
Who are the guys to watch out for now that you've had 3 heats?
Everybody can win. Anybody can win. It's going to be a close one because we don't know what can happen in the last 5 laps.
So into the final, this is the one that counts, and we're about to get racing. Once again, Laxon Leo pulling out of the tram lines. He's going to have to be very wary about that if he gets to the World Championships. They're going to nail him for that. Leighton Fourie, though, gets the whole shot with Akil Levi on his tail. Tucked into 3rd place is Tate Bishop, Ethan Kutsia with pressure from Brooks as they get onto that back straight. Now remember, Ethan Kutsia is Leighton Fourie's teammate when they're in Europe. But here today, they are big rivals. Out of the same stable, though, still both in Cosmic chassis. But it looks like the Cosmic out front seems to have a little bit of an edge and a margin here over the rest. Behind that is the RKT machine of Akil Levi, race 1 winner, and pushing hard now to try and spoil the day here for Leighton Fourie. Fourie and Kutsia will be heading overseas straight after this one into Sweden to go and do some battles on the European side of things and get themselves ready for the finals in Italy. Laxon Leo putting pressure onto the back end there, trying to find a way through on Mgandi. Nice start there, much better coming out of Kahlema, and this time out looking for a chance to be in that top 5. The top 5, though, unfortunately are getting away from that second pack of carts. And it's led out by Fourie as he crosses the line and completes the first one. Oh, and Akil Levi not holding back at all, diving through and getting up. Watch on the back, though. Here comes Tate Bishop. Bishop applying the pressure, looking for 2nd place, and he tags the back end of Fourie. Fourie gets sent back behind Brooks, or does he? Can he keep Brooks out? Yes, he can. Only just, though, and tucks in behind Ethan Kutsia. So a little tap between Tate Bishop and Leighton Fourie, and it's opened up the gap there between 3rd and 4th place. But it's Akil Levi who now leads things out with Tate Bishop on his tail. Bishop, the biggest winner out of that one. Biggest loser, unfortunately, was Leighton Fourie, who's dropped out of contention. I don't know if you'll be able to make that up. We'll wait and see. It's a long race, remember. 18 laps of action, and we just heard now from Leighton Fourie how much the international and European exposure helps the guys in these slightly longer races. They are much more used to driving in the longer heats and getting opportunities to spend more time in their karts. It's all about setup, remember, as well. In the sprint races, in the slightly shortened version, you can go at it almost hammer and tongs right from the word go. Now it's all about tyre preservation, because these tyres will start to feel it by the end of 18 laps. Akil Levi hanging on for now. Brooks is applying pressure, though, and Fourie is trying to say to him, listen, let's work together and bridge that gap before we start fighting. It's not a bad strategy to have. So we got RKT, Angry, and Cosmic. And then a Cosmic, and right behind that is the barrel of Brooks. Now remember, these guys are fighting hard for the win here, and Akil Levi is at the front. and he's managed to maintain the lead like he did in the first race, but there's a bit more pressure now, because all of a sudden Tate Bishop has not only got Ethan Coetzee, he's now got Leighton Fourie on his tail, and Fourie has bridged that gap. Jordan Brooks hasn't quite got there. Yellow flags into Talcon. There must be a bit of an issue there with one of the back markers. There it's on the sideline. I think it's Malamani again. Yes, Gregor Malamani parked on the sideline, unfortunately, once again, and an issue there on that cart. But as they come across the line, remember, as important as winning this race, particularly in the Africa Open, is getting second place. Because for whatever reason, one of them being if Akil Alibi, say for instance, wins this race as he is now and takes it, there's a very good possibility that he might not be able to go, or he wins the national championship. If he wins the national championship, he's guaranteed a seat anyway, and Leighton Fourie is pushing hard to get up to that second place, so that if he does, there's a good chance that Leighton Fourie will be in the reserve seat and not Tate Bishop. Tate Bishop would like that reserve seat, there's no doubt about it. And that's why he's sitting in second and trying to control second place, and in fact, going for a chance to get ahead. There are 4 carts involved here, maybe 5 with Jordan if something goes wrong, and he can just bridge it. He has, he's got right up there. So Jordan Brooks is now right up there as we get to the halfway stage. 5 carts fighting for this Africa Open. The seat to the Worlds. And remember, that's in Italy, in Sarno. And then from there, anybody else behind them has to go and win the national championship if they want the second seat. Good dive on the inside as Fourie moves up into second place now. That might be good timing to try and get a little bit of a margin over Tate Bishop. Put the pressure off himself that's coming from Ethan Coetzee, and let Ethan Coetzee apply that pressure onto Bishop. Bishop hasn't looked back once though, so I don't think he's even worried about the fact that Ethan Coetzee is right there. And remember, Coetzee and Fourie, teammates when they're on international duties. Tate has a look, tucks in behind Leighton Fourie, maybe just showing him a wheel, maybe trying to set things up for a bit later on. If you go too soon, it might not be able to be maintained, and that's why I think, oh no, I say that as we see a little maneuver there from Leighton Fourie. Fourie just putting in one of the fastest laps of the race, and in fact, right behind him, Ethan Coetzee has just put in the fastest, a 48.460, and that's why there is so much pressure on the back end there of Tate Bishop. Bishop soaking it up though. He's not going to give that third place up that easily, and in fact, I'm sure he'd like to try and have a go here at Fourie for second. Fourie would love a go to kill Alibi, but Alibi is just ticking them off. One of the most consistent drives we've seen out of Akil Alibi. And remember, he's had international experience and he's had world final experience. So to get this Africa Open seat definitely will be a big score for the Kart 14 man. He runs 414 today, but of course his favorite number is 14, and he runs as Kart 14 as his racing stable. And so far, that stable has done everything right here today. They've taken a victory in the heats, and now in the final, they are controlling things from the front. Fourie behind. Tate Bishop still there. So is Coetzee. Brooksy's lost out ever so slightly, dropping back about half a second there. In fact, almost a second behind these guys now as they cross the line. He's actually out of shot as they come through to complete another lap. Akil Alibi, Fourie, and Bishop. Coetzee trying to apply the pressure on Bishop and let him falter, but he hasn't. He hasn't put a wheel wrong, and they've kept it very clean as well. There's no bumper infringements on any one of those boys just yet. But we have got to get to the closing stages, and I think that's where the pressure might mount a little bit more. Alibi, first time I've seen him look over his shoulder. He has a big look over his shoulder heading into the entry point of the triple left-handers, just to make sure how big that gap is. I can tell you right now, if he had a timing monitor on him and the pit boards were out, they'll be telling him +0. There is nothing in it between the 3 carts behind him, and there's nothing in it in this train. Look at this train. This is fantastic racing, and there's not one bumper infringement yet. As they come across the line, Coetzee's on the inside, but just over the line there, couldn't get through on Tate Bishop, and it's Akil Alibi who takes the win. Amazing stuff from Alibi there, taking the win and the Africa Open ahead of Leighton Fourie and Tate Bishop. Ethan Coetzee, one consolation, was fastest lap, and he beats out Jordan Brooks for the top 5.
It was a good one. I managed to pass Leighton into the second corner. Then I just held the lead till the end, but it was some tight racing towards the end, but I managed to pull through.
Were you aware of the boxing match going on between Leighton and Tate and them behind you, or did you not worry about what they were doing?
I was not too worried about what they were doing, but I did look back once or twice just to see how far back they were. But it was a good one.
Now, going to the World Finals, last year you went to Brazil. It was a huge learning curve. Now we're going to Italy. Second time around, do you feel more comfortable about it?
Yeah, I feel more comfortable about it, and hopefully some of the drivers who were there last year, they might come, so then I will be able to know their driving style.
Fantastic stuff, and congratulations winning the ticket to go to the World Finals there for the second time for Akila Levi.